everyone, welcome to another Rapid Review episode. This week we're going to talk about two things that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Again, really busy with the comic and just getting a bunch of things together, so I'm not able to do a full review, but again, I saw a couple things I really liked, so I wanted to get this out. So first up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I really enjoyed this movie, and to me it's easily the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie since the very first one. But that one just holds a huge nostalgic place in my heart. So I don't know that I could honestly look at it and tell you if it's a good or bad movie because I just loved it so much. And I think anybody else that's kind of 40-ish year old probably agrees with me on that. But this movie does a lot of really cool stuff. So first and foremost, I think it does a great job with the turtles themselves. For what feels like the first time, they're all really teenagers, both in how they look and how they act, and even by the voice actors. And it's really refreshing to see them as teens in this way because I'm not quite sure any other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles property, and I haven't watched all the recent cartoons, but I don't know that any have really quite gotten it this right. But also, like, they feel they're all different. They all have their own personalities, and I think that's always been a strength of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They've always had their own distinct personalities, but this one keeps it. Like, they're all teens and they're immature in certain ways, but they all are their own people and unique, and I really like that. But it's not just the Turtles. I think we get a lot of great performances here. We get a great performance from Jackie Chan as Splinter, from Ice Cube, who's the main villain, and there's just a slew of other great performances throughout. I also love the choice, I'm going to butcher the name, but Io Idebril, who's April O'Neil. And playing April O'Neil, who's a high school student aspiring to be a journalist, I think works really well. Again, keeping her as a high school student is great. That's a bit of a departure from the April O'Neil that we're used to seeing in film and TV. To me, the story's perfectly fine. You know, it's kind of a by-the-numbers story, and that's not a knock on the film because I think the film is really about the relationship between the Turtles and between each other and just between them and humanity. So, it didn't need to get bogged down by a crazy story, although the story is kind of crazy. But it was just a perfectly fine story. But again, not a complaint for me on that. We watch them quite literally come out of their shell in the movie, and I think that's what works in this film, on all levels, that they're kind of exposing themselves to people. And I think the movie plays with the idea of kind of the negative aspects of humanity, but also some of the positive aspects of humanity and the Turtles trying to figure out and live and navigate in a world like that. And so I really like the way they made that work. I think visually the film, it looks great. It's more than a little bit inspired by the Spider-Verse movies, but to me it still feels like its own thing. I love the fight scenes. I love the character design. I really like the score. I think the score was great, and I love the soundtrack. I think it made some great choices with the soundtrack. Again, it's almost like it's made for me, right? It's like perfect, mostly 90s hip hop. But it nails it to me with the score. But again, it's like this movie was made for me to go to and love. Mutant Mayhem also just has a lot of heart, and it's genuinely funny. I think there's one particular gag that I felt like at some point it was going on for a little bit too long, but it pays off in a great way. So I think that one gag, again, I was ready to say, okay, stop it, I'm done. And then they pay it off really well. So again, the humor in the movie is great. A couple jokes don't hit, but again, if you're throwing that many jokes, it's like a joke a minute. Like some things are going to hit, some things are not. But not a knock on the movie at all from me. Anyway, I had a blast watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and I highly recommend it. I'm giving it an 8.75. So the other thing that I'm going to quickly touch on is the Apple TV show Hijack, which ended last week. It stars Idris Elba, who's a negotiator who happens to be on a plane when it's taken over by a group of hijackers while traveling from Dubai to the UK. It sounds crazy, and it is. It's 7 episodes long, and I think they do a really good job of stretching that concept in a way that makes the show work, and it doesn't feel like they're adding a bunch of filler. I think it could have easily felt like that. I think it's an engaging show without trying to be the next, big, great drama or, next big high concept show. We're just watching Idris Elba, trying to cleverly outwit a group of terrorists on a plane. It probably won't win any awards, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it. I think, again, Idris Elba is great as usual. The story itself is pretty strong. I think they do a good job of mixing the drama that's going on in the air with some drama that's going on the ground. And I think they do a great job of ending each episode on some kind of a cliffhanger that makes you desperately want to see the next episode. I think they do a really good job of that without making it feel a little too much. I think the show's, as I said, the show is crazy at times, and it can definitely be a bit unbelievable and over the top, but it's not trying to be anything more than just a fun, kind of dumb action drama that probably had no right to be as good as I feel like it was at the end of the day. It doesn't overstay its welcome. So if you want a solid TV show that doesn't take an insane commitment, that has some fun performances and is just a blast to watch, I highly recommend it. Hijack gets a solid 7.75 from me.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, leave a review. We can be found on all social media platforms at portable_whole, and we can be found on any of your favorite podcast platforms at Portable Whole Publishing. For any information about us, upcoming releases, or podcasts, you can check us out at portablewholepublishing.com. And to email us at portablewholepub@gmail.com.